There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum right here. There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum right here. Hey, Mark Shepard here again, and this is the Better Man Project. I just finished episode number 8, and it's processing right now. I just edited it, but I wanted to add a couple of things for episode number 9 while I'm still thinking about it. I'm still kind of in that same frame of mind, and I'll upload this tomorrow, but you're seeing it, so it's already today, so this is just the next part of the Alpha Zone. And I wanted to talk a little bit about not caring, and an idea came that, like, for example, here on my channel, I don't care what you think, and hang with me. I don't need your approval to say what I'm going to say, and you may disagree with me. Someone may think I'm an asshole or an idiot. Someone may think I'm an asshole, even though I'm a deeply caring human being. I value people. I want to help people. I want to support growth, and I want to make a positive difference in the world. I want to save the planet. I want to create a sustainable world, so my children and their children and their children's children have a place to live. I care on that level. Do you understand? I don't care whether YouTube has a problem and, with me using grown-up language, adult language that everybody uses all the time, but that somehow advertisers find bothersome. Like, I don't care what YouTube thinks. I don't care what those advertisers think. Do you see how that's actually power? And I don't care what other people think about me. There was a young woman sitting across from us on the train, and in the past, even just sitting there, I would have cared when I was younger. I would have cared what she thought of me. I would have tried to somehow think she would like me somehow. But the bottom line is, I don't care. I don't care about her family. I care about them as human beings. I want them to have good lives. But I don't care what they think of me. And that's new for me, because I tiptoed on eggshells all my life, trying to make sure my mother thought well of me, because I cared what she thought of me. And so I tried to become the kind of man I thought she wanted. But ultimately, she made me a wuss. All right? No, I take full responsibility. She didn't want me to become an asshole. She wanted me to become this kind of man, but I misinterpreted her, and I became a wuss. I became terrified of a woman's opinion. And I think that's part of what's going on, because we men have been socialized to seek approval from our female teachers, from our often single mother, who is trying to be both father and mother, right? And our fathers are often not in our lives. And so men have become less and less relevant in some ways in a young boy's life. And that's part of what I'm trying to do here, is I'm trying to reach out and mentor young men who need to hear about what it means to be a healthy man in today's very complicated, crazy life, and how to do it in a way that women who are also confused about what the feminine is, to do it in a way that women also appreciate and are turned on by, literally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, intellectually, in all things. Because women today, they want more. They have been told they can have it all. And when they can't have it all, or when you show up as a wuss, and they want a man who's going to show up here without being an asshole, a lot of times they end up getting the asshole. Because they'd rather have the asshole than the wuss. One of my mentors said, yeah, women will have sex with a powerful alpha male even if they don't like him, because that is what turns them on sexually. And that's not politically correct. And he can't even go on mainstream media and be interviewed. Right? But I think he has a point. Women would rather have an asshole than a wuss. They do not want a wuss. And my girlfriend's like kind of a little bit abrupt. She's like, yeah, the beta males, I just dismissed them. Dude, not interested. Get away from me. Right? And then it's when the beta male tries to keep pursuing, because he has this misunderstanding that somehow he's supposed to persist, and then, like these Hollywood movies, somehow at the end of the movie she'll realize that he's way better than this guy who's kicking sand in everybody's face, right? The old Charles Atlas advertisements in the back of comic books show the skinny, wussy guy. He's with a girl, but this big, muscular guy kicks sand in his face and takes the girl away from him, right? And then our wuss starts working out. And the more he works out, the more he becomes in the carefree zone, but unfortunately he probably ends up just becoming another asshole, right? So you got to play this, and you're going to have to learn where your spot is. And sometimes I'm on the edge. Sometimes I'm a little obnoxious. Sometimes I'm in my power and my joy, and I can tell my girlfriend's a little embarrassed by how loud I'm talking or how silly I am being. And you know what? She has to deal with that. Too bad. This is who I am. Right? Get it? It doesn't mean I'm going to try to embarrass her and then dismiss her concern. You see, there's a difference between being uncaring and being carefree. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. We got to stop caring what people think about us. We can still care about them deeply as human beings. But ultimately, this is about non-attachment. Non-attachment. And the biggest thing we have to become unattached to stop caring about is our own ego, our own self-importance, our own self-victim, self-pity crap. And that, my friend, is a lifelong journey. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's hard fucking work. But it's working on yourself, and it's self-improvement. And the more you work on yourself and improve, the higher level of person you hang out with. So that's also why I want you guys to avoid the idea that somehow this girl in high school or at any age in your life, that this one person can make or break your self-esteem. Like, that's not healthy. And for a man, a leader, people criticize leaders. People disagree with leaders. People try to take over leadership. People challenge power. Do you understand? Women will test a man to see if he's powerful. And one thing you can do, and I find this difficult myself, but some of my mentors have suggested this, and I've read this in multiple places, including the book Headstrong by, his name is escaping me, but he's the guy that owns Bulletproof Coffee. And this technique is to literally take a shower, and at the end of the shower, turn the hot water off and stand under the cold water and just relax into it. Just stand under the cold water and be nonplussed, to be non-affected by it. Right? And that is a skill. And I'm also not talking about denying your emotions or denying your feelings, but I want you to be able to practice being unswayed by people's opinions. Okay? Opinions of others. Right? Doesn't mean you don't want to hear opinions. Doesn't mean you can't take feedback. Doesn't mean any of that. What it means is that you are not, your self-worth is not tied up into their opinion. You don't depend on them or any external person's approval to gather your self-worth, right? And that's sexy to women. And for John, this one girl, you want to talk to her and you freeze when you try to talk to her, and that's many men. The problem you freeze is because you care what she thinks. The problem you freeze is because you want to have a guarantee that you won't fail. You're worried about failure. You want to have some kind of guarantee that you won't feel like a fool or that she won't reject you or embarrass you. But the bottom line is, if you just get to know her, and there's always just one step. Hi, you seem like an interesting person, and I'd like to get to know you, right? And there's a subtle challenge in there. You seem like an interesting person, but that's the way it should be with everybody. You shouldn't just be friends with anybody. Like, are you someone I want to hang out with? That should be something you determine with your male friends and your female friends, with what school you want to go to, who you want to be, like who you want to work for. It seems like this is a good career track, but is it? Question authority, right? Question the authority you give other people and start believing in your own authority, but just make sure you're congruent. Make sure you're not lying to yourself. So it's not totally easy stuff. This is grown-up shit. This is like how we become men and how we become the kind of men and the kind of women we want, desire. This is how we become the kind of men, the kind of women we want, desire. It's also how we become the kind of men who write our own ticket. It's also how we become the kind of men who are our own bosses, who bow our heads to no one, who are kings and princes in our own life, who are lions among men, who go for the long-term win, who become successful beyond most people's wildest dreams, who people look up to and admire, both men and women, who are willing to take leadership, who are willing to accept that failure is not to be afraid of, failure is to be embraced, and diversity of opinion is fine, but you are not tied to anyone's approval because you approve of yourself. Get that deep into your unconscious mind right now. Why do you begin today to approve of yourself and to give yourself the kind of support in every way that you think this other person's going to give you? You think you'll stop being lonely if you're with her. Well, stop being lonely now. Enjoy your own company, right? You think you'll be happy if you get to have sex with her. Make yourself happy now, whether you have sex with her or not. Find something deeply delightful about her, whether you're intimate with her or not, whether you end up being friends or not, whether you end up dating her or not, whether you end up just having a conversation at the bus stop, or whether you just say hi at the bank, or whether you just catch someone's eye and smile and practice winking, a terrifying exercise, but practice. All right, self-improvement, and that's it for today. I'm going to keep it short for this one, and I'm holding nothing back, guys. I'm giving you stuff that I normally would charge thousands of dollars for if I was working individually with someone. What I'm trying to do is to make a difference in the lives of thousands of guys, because that will not only affect thousands of men in a positive way, but it will affect thousands of women in a positive way. And I think men and women deserve to learn how to truly make each other happy. So that's it for today. If you like this, please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. Please share this with someone you care about, someone who can support you in your journey towards greatness, towards becoming the alpha in the alpha zone, to becoming the lion in your alpha zone. All right. And if you like my music, check more of that out at markshepard.bandcamp.com. If you want to go deeper with me, if you have some specific challenges, if you really have anxiety, you owe it to yourself to check out some of my courses at honesthypnosis.com. And again, if you have any questions, please use the contact form there or leave a comment below this video, and I will do my best to answer you in a future video or to respond to you in whatever way is appropriate. Okay, and I appreciate you guys very much, and thanks for all the new subscribers. Oh, check out my morning cryptos if you want to become wealthy even before you perhaps leave high school, because I can teach you how to do that too. That's what I'm doing every single day. It's becoming the better man that I want to be, the kind of man that my girlfriend, who's an amazing woman, looks up to. And the way she looks at me is worth the price of admission. And it's been hard work to get here because I was a painfully shy person and I had a lot of challenges with women, with relationships, and we'll get more into that in ways that will be helpful to you in the future. So that's it for now. Over and out. Go ahead and start the music.
There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum right here. There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum right here.